Greetings, dear friends. I hope this message finds you well. Today, we're embarking on a profound journey, examining a question that has perplexed many. Why do some people who engage in morally questionable activities seem to live easy lives, while others, particularly Christians, appear to face hardships? It's a misconception that can shake faith, but it's important to remember that appearances can be deceiving. Drawing from the wisdom of the Bible and Catholic doctrine, we'll explore that those who choose the path of wrongdoing do not escape suffering. It merely takes a different form. We'll be looking at the lives of various individuals, from drug dealers to corrupt politicians, and the hidden struggles they face. As we peel back the layers of their seemingly easy lives, we'll uncover the fears, anxieties, and moral conflicts that haunt them. As we delve into this topic, remember, things are not always as they seem. First, consider the life of a drug dealer. This is not the easy path it might initially appear. The reality is a world filled with constant fear and danger. The drug dealer is perpetually looking over their shoulder, fearing the imminent threat of law enforcement closing in. They live in a state of anxiety, their peace stolen by the looming shadow of potential arrest and incarceration. Moreover, the danger isn't only from the authorities. Rival dealers are a constant threat in this illicit industry. Violence and conflict are the unfortunate norms, and the drug dealer must constantly navigate this treacherous landscape. Their life is not one of tranquility, but of turmoil and trepidation. The Bible speaks to this in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. The drug dealer, though seemingly thriving, is merely sowing seeds of destruction, and in time they will reap the consequences. So while it may appear that the drug dealer leads an easy life, the reality is much different. Their life is a constant battle against fear, danger, and their own conscience. They may seem to prosper, but they pay a high price for their choices. The life of a drug dealer, then, is one fraught with danger and fear. Their seemingly easy life is a mirage, hiding a harsh desert of anxiety and peril. Let's now turn our attention to the cheating spouse. Picture this: a spouse entangled in the web of infidelity, living a double life. The guilt and fear of being discovered by their partner gnaws at their conscience, overshadowing any fleeting moments of pleasure. In the pages of the Holy Bible, we find strong teachings about faithfulness and honesty. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 32, we read, "But a man who commits adultery has no sense. Whoever does so destroys himself." This verse is a stark reminder of the self-inflicted pain that infidelity brings. Not only do these individuals live in constant fear of being caught, but they also bear the heavy burden of guilt. Every lie told, every secret kept adds another layer to this burden. The strain of maintaining their deception takes a toll, often leading to anxiety, insomnia, and even health problems. Moreover, the pain they inflict on their partner, the broken trust and shattered vows, is a mirror reflecting their own suffering. For in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verse 31, we find the golden rule: do to others as you would have them do to you. In betraying their partner's trust, they violate this fundamental principle of reciprocal respect and love. Cheating, therefore, brings its own form of suffering. It's a self-inflicted wound that cuts deep, creating a chasm of guilt and fear that's difficult to bridge. Next, we look at the corrupt politician. In the corridors of power, where decisions that affect millions are made, corruption can sneak in. A politician, swayed by greed, can easily lose sight of the public's trust vested in them. Yet imagine the constant dread that gnaws at their conscience. The fear of exposure always looms large. Every handshake, every secret meeting, every unaccounted dollar could be the one that unravels their carefully constructed web of deceit. They live in the shadow of potential disgrace, knowing that if their corruption is revealed, they could lose more than just their job. Their reputation, painstakingly built over years, could crumble in an instant. And freedom, that too could be stripped away, replaced by cold iron bars. The Bible in Proverbs chapter 11 verse 3 tells us, "The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity." This wisdom shows the path of honesty and integrity is not just morally right, but also a shield against the fear and anxiety that accompany deceit. Indeed, the corrupt politician may seem to thrive, to enjoy the spoils of their ill-gotten gains. Yet beneath the surface, they shoulder a heavy burden, a burden of fear, of potential loss, of a life lived under the constant shadow of exposure. Corruption, as we can see, carries its own heavy burden. Now let's consider the life of a human trafficker or pedophile. These individuals live in a world shadowed by fear and moral conflict. The fear of legal consequences is a constant companion, a dark cloud that never lifts. The law is clear and unforgiving, as it should be to such heinous crimes. The fear of discovery, of punishment, and of social ostracism makes their lives a perpetual game of hide and seek. However, the suffering of these individuals is not limited to the external threats. There is a deeper internal battle that rages within them. The Bible, the book of wisdom revered by Christians and respected by many, teaches us about the sanctity of human life and dignity. It is written in the book of Genesis that God created mankind in his own image. This profound truth, deeply ingrained in our conscience, echoes within them, creating a moral conflict that is hard to silence. Every human being, regardless of their age, race, or status, is a reflection of God's image and deserves to be treated with respect and dignity. To violate this principle, to exploit and harm another human being, is to go against our inherent moral compass. This creates an internal turmoil, a guilt that gnaws at the soul, making their lives a living hell. The life of a human trafficker or pedophile is not one of luxury or ease. It is a life filled with fear, guilt, and moral conflict. It is a life overshadowed by the imminent threat of legal consequences and the persistent whisper of a violated conscience. It is a life that is far from the peace and joy that comes with living a life in accordance with our inherent moral compass and the teachings of the Bible. The life of such individuals, therefore, is far from easy or free from suffering. Let's now examine the life of a bully. A bully thrives on exerting power over others. It might seem like they lead an easy life, doling out fear and distress, but is it indeed a life of ease? Let's delve deeper. Fear is a constant companion for the bully. It is twofold. Firstly, there's the fear of repercussions. Despite their bravado, bullies are aware that their actions are wrong, and they fear the consequences if their deeds are exposed. In schools and workplaces, policies against bullying are becoming stricter, leading to harsh penalties. In society, the tide is turning against such behavior, and bullies can face severe social backlash. Secondly, bullies may have a deep-seated fear of becoming targets themselves. The Bible teaches us in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7, "Do not be deceived, God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." Bullies know this. They understand they're sowing seeds of animosity, and they dread the day they'll reap the harvest. Moreover, the Bible encourages love and respect for others. In 1 John chapter 4, verse 20, it says, "Whoever claims to love God yet hates a brother or sister is a liar." This teaches us that love and respect for our fellow humans are paramount. A life spent causing pain to others is a life devoid of true love and respect. Bullying, as we see, brings its own form of suffering. Next, let's consider the life of an identity thief. Picture this: a life shrouded in secrecy, deception, and constant anxiety. An identity thief is always on the edge, perpetually looking over their shoulder, fearing the moment their actions catch up with them. They live in the shadow of the looming threat of legal repercussions, not to mention the emotional toll of carrying the weight of their deceit. Now let's turn to the Bible. In Ephesians chapter 4, verse 28, it states, "Let the thief no longer steal, but rather let him labor, doing honest work with his own hands, so that he may have something to share with anyone in need." This teaching underscores the value of honesty, hard work, and respect for others' property. Stealing someone's identity is a clear violation of these principles. Moreover, the Bible teaches us in Proverbs chapter 11, verse 3, "The integrity of the upright guides them, but the crookedness of the treacherous destroys them." This verse illustrates the eventual downfall of those who choose dishonest paths. The identity thief may seem to thrive in the short run, but ultimately their crookedness leads to their destruction. The fear, anxiety, and potential consequences faced by an identity thief are far from an easy life. Their actions not only harm others, but also bring turmoil and distress upon themselves. Identity theft, then, is not a path to an easy life. Finally, let's examine the life of a prostitute. Many might perceive it as an easy way to earn, but the reality is far from it. The life of a prostitute is often filled with physical danger, fear, and societal stigma. Imagine living in constant fear of physical harm from those who are supposed to be your clients. The danger doesn't stop there. There is also the looming threat of arrest, as prostitution is illegal in many parts of the world. The fear of being caught and facing legal consequences is a constant burden. It's a life lived on the edge where safety and security are often luxuries. Yet the challenges don't end with physical danger and legal concerns. There's a societal stigma attached to prostitution that can be just as damaging. They often face rejection, judgment, and disdain from society. This can lead to feelings of shame, isolation, and low self-esteem. Now let's turn to the teachings of the Bible for some wisdom on this matter. In Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19, we find these words, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God?" This verse reminds us of the inherent dignity and respect that every human body deserves, regardless of the circumstances. The Bible teaches us to respect and value our bodies and the bodies of others as temples of the Holy Spirit. This is a far cry from the life a prostitute often leads, where their body is commodified and their dignity is compromised. In the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 40, we read, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." This passage encourages us to show kindness and compassion to all, including those who society may deem as the least. Prostitution, as we can see, brings its own form of suffering. It's a life marked by danger, fear, and rejection. Yet, as we learn from the Bible, every person, including a prostitute, deserves dignity, respect, and compassion. In conclusion, dear friends, it's essential to remember that appearances can be deceptive. While it may seem as though those who act unjustly or immorally are leading easy lives, beneath the surface, there lies a different reality. Each of these individuals, whether they be drug dealers, cheating spouses, corrupt politicians, human traffickers, bullies, identity thieves, or prostitutes, they all bear the weight of their actions. The drug dealer constantly fears being caught by law enforcement or dealing with dangerous customers. The cheating spouse lives in dread of hurting their partner and the guilt of their dishonesty. Corrupt politicians face the constant threat of their misdeeds being exposed, leading to the loss of their reputation, job, or even freedom. Human traffickers and pedophiles live with the fear of the legal consequences of their actions being discovered, along with the moral conflict they inevitably face. Bullies, despite their apparent power, may fear becoming the target themselves or the repercussions once their actions are exposed. Identity thieves live in a constant state of anxiety, worrying about leaving digital traces that lead back to them, and prostitutes often face physical danger, fear of arrest, and societal stigma and rejection. All these examples serve to underline the fundamental truth that evil actions bring their own form of suffering, regardless of outward appearances. This aligns with the teachings of the Bible and Catholic doctrine, which have always emphasized the inherent worth of moral integrity and the inevitable consequences of wrongdoing. So let's strive for a life that is not only righteous on the surface, but also rich in inner peace and fulfillment. A life where we don't fear being caught because our actions are just and honorable. A life where we don't have to look over our shoulder, but can instead look straight ahead with a clear conscience. So if you like this video, please share, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for Amazon English bestsellers on similar topics. Check the description box below or the comment section. Goodbye and God bless.